Hi everyone. It is such a cold day today, guys. Oh my god, it is so cold. I suffer from Raynaud's syndrome, where the blood just seems to rush from your fingers and toes and they go white, and then you can't feel them. Oh, I struggled with that so much today. I'm just trying to keep wrapped up warm. Okay, so this vlog is talking about on the bit in the modern dressage world. But I do have to say that I'm not a riding instructor. I don't claim to be one. I don't claim to be knowledgeable like one. I just want to share my experiences that I've had with Arthur, I guess. I would always recommend using a riding instructor to help you improve and help your horse improve. But anyway, to get started, I went onto the British Dressage website and went looking for their definition of on the bit in their membership manual. And their definition of on the bit is the following. Let's find it. So in all the work, even at the halt, the horse must be on the bit. A horse is said to be on the bit when the neck is more or less raised and arched according to the stage of training and the extension or collection of the pace, accepting the bridle with a light and consistent soft submissive contact. The head should remain in a steady position, as a rule, slightly in front of the vertical, with a supple pole as the highest point of the neck, and no resistance should be offered to the athlete. I'm pointing this out because I see so many high-level riders, which there's no excuse really, high-level riders, particularly on YouTube, which have quite a big following, and their horses are they're almost always behind the vertical and broken at the third vertebrae. The middle of their neck is the highest point, not the pole, and you can see that the horses are in discomfort. So I just thought it was very valuable to point it out. But the two key points for me in that paragraph is that the pole should be at the highest point. Obviously, the arching of the horse's neck is as what British Dressage say. It will vary according to the training level and whether they're extended, collected, working paces. And then the other one is that the horse should be either on the vertical or in front of the vertical, never behind. But for some reason, nearly everybody is behind the vertical and everybody's liking them on Facebook, and I don't know, it just gets me so upset. But anyway, I am going to share some pictures of me and Arth. And I have tried to work quite hard with Arthur, trying to make him work over the back. And a lot of the time he has done, and I do actually think that the dressage work has actually helped build up his back and has helped the kissing spines. Obviously he's still got it, so it hasn't helped enough, but I did notice that his performance just shot through the roof in 2020, and that's when I really started to focus on long and low, and I got an instructor involved who helped me out. So there are obviously benefits to all that, but I did just want, from my experience, I did just want to point out some things. So the horse can't really work the way you want it to if, number one, they're actually in pain. You've got to make sure that your horse doesn't have any painful issues anywhere. Number 2, you've got to make sure that their hoof balance is correct. And this is something that I think is going to come to light because, yeah, I got a shock over Arthur's feet, that's for sure. And 3, make sure that your saddle fits. This is also another pain in the backside topic as well. But if your horse doesn't have those 3 things, if they're not pain-free, if their hoof balance isn't accurate, and if their saddle doesn't fit, they're never going to perform in the way you want them to perform. But anyway, so during obviously my interest with dressage, I came across, my riding instructor told me about Sylvia Loch. I really respect Sylvia as a classical dressage rider. If you want to find out more about her, just add yourself to the group on Facebook. I've posted it to this side. And I would also highly recommend her book, The Balanced Horse. It is full of images, it is full of explanations. It gives what's correct and what's wrong about the pictures that she gives. It's really, really good. I really found it interesting. She was also at Your Horse Live in 2011. That's on YouTube. I would really recommend to watch that as well. And she also has a video about the definition of on the bit, which I highly recommend to watch. Obviously, Sylvia is very knowledgeable, qualified in this area where I'm not. But yeah, I'm just trying to share my experiences as I go along, so really hope that I can help other people before it's too late. And obviously it is kind of too late for my poor Arthur. Obviously I hope I can get him back, but we'll just wait and see, really. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna share some pictures. Obviously, please don't scrutinise me. I recognise that I don't have the best riding position in the world. I have improved quite a lot, but I have been in and out of riding just because of constant problems with Arth. So I am trying my best with the situation that I've got. It's just sometimes he has worked in a certain way, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys to try and explain, demonstrate what I'm trying to explain. I'll also share some pictures of Sylvia Loch as well, because she's been kind enough to let me include her in this. So yeah. Okay, so I've actually found this blog very difficult and I've refilmed a few times. So I really do hope that it is useful to some people. So anyway, here's a picture of Arthur in an outline that I thought was correct. And obviously I've just kind of got this from got this image in my head from social media and from what you generally see at high level dressage. I'm not saying you see it everywhere, but it's just from what I've seen and become accustomed to. And obviously I put that into my, I suppose, into what I generally looked out for when I was schooling Arthur, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, it really does upset me, but I am just so grateful that I didn't really care much for dressage. I'm just so grateful. Arthur and I are a cross-country team. But as you can see, he is way behind the vertical. But yeah, this is incorrect. So this image is from 2020, and a background, I guess, on this, it was for a prelim test. I do a bit of online dressage with Arthur. I mainly started to do it because I really struggled with Arthur and dressage, so this was quite good for me to really get to grips with him and try to improve him and get feedback from BD judges at the same time. For anybody interested, I use dressage riders online. I'll put a link in the description. So yeah, this is Arthur. I did actually score really well in this one. It was the canter that let us down. I think I got 8s for his trot. I do remember this day. He felt so awesome. But as you can see in the picture, so his hind leg impulsion is really good. So the angles of his hind legs and his front legs are parallel. So he's nice and active. You can see that he's using his back. So his back is nice and straight. It's not hollow. He has got a nice curve in his neck with the pole at the highest point. And he is on the vertical. Now, I probably would like to have his neck a little bit more stretched out, and maybe his nose just a little bit more in front of the vertical. But as you can see from my reins, they do have a slight loop in it. They're fairly slackish. They're not right. I'm not bracing against him. He's put himself in his own self-carriage. Usually, I suppose, Arthur would look a little bit more like this image, where his nose is slightly in front of the vertical and his neck is a little bit lower. This image here just goes to show how croup high Arthur is. Yeah, as you can see on the first image, he really is engaging his back. He is engaging his back in the second one, but he could do with being a little bit more supple in his back. Obviously, unfortunately, he does have kissing spine, so he is going to find it difficult anyway. And I also wanted to point out just how important the stretch is. So this is Arthur doing a stretching trot. Everybody will know it's one of the technical aspects of a prelim test. So as you can see, his front and back legs are matching. He's stretching down nicely, taking the contact down. He's flexing slightly at the pole. He could be a little bit more supple over his back, but obviously, as I've said, he has kissing spines. But this saddle actually, I came to find, was too narrow in the channel and had flocking issues. So it's just the way these things go. You just trust professionals, I guess. So I just thought I would share some other pictures from some previous suppose online dressage that I've done. So as you can see, his pole, I always try to make sure that it's at the highest point. I always try to make sure that his head is either in front of the vertical, or sometimes he is on the vertical. I really try to make sure that he doesn't go behind the vertical, or he's not broken at the third vertebrae. And this is an image of Sylvia Loch taken from her book, The Balanced Horse. So this is the startings of collection, I guess. So she gives a really good description on the side, and as you can see, the horses, the hocks are nicely underneath the horse's body, not out the back, which you do see quite a lot in some dressage tests competition. The back's engaged. She has said in the book that for it to be perfect, the horse should be more out, so I guess on the vertical. And then here's another one for extension. So as you can see, the horse's front and back legs are parallel to each other, so the hind end is very active. The pole is at the highest point and the horse's head is slightly in front of the vertical, so this is something that you don't really see a lot of in high level dressage anymore. But this is a proper extended trot. The flashy legs really does get on my nerves a bit, because it's almost as if there's two halves of a horse. The back legs look plain and boring, but the front legs look very flashy, when that's not a true extended trot. Towards the end of the video, I am going to share a recent training session with Arthur. Just as an update, I guess. I really wish that I had videos that I could have shared with you guys from how much I used to struggle. But yeah, it just shows what I do with him, I guess. And showing him cantering on the left and right side, which is something that I've always struggled with. So to conclude, if you do take anything from this, take these 4 things. So the pole should be at the highest point, so there shouldn't be a kink in the horse's neck. They shouldn't be broken at the 3rd vertebrae. So the nose, as a rule, discipline yourself to have your horse's nose in front of the vertical, not behind. It's in my opinion that less is more. So I see a lot of videos on YouTube where it's half halt, half halt, half halt. I just think that less is more. Just I'm trying to train Arthur, mainly using, I suppose, my body where I can. I even use verbal cues, if I'm honest, rather than just nagging him with my legs and my hands all the time. And for me personally, I just feel like this really works for Arthur. Obviously it doesn't work for everybody, it's just what I prefer to do. And make sure that your horse isn't in pain. Make sure that your saddle fits, make sure that hoof balance is correct, make sure that your horse doesn't have any problems which cause pain. Actually, another one that is really important is nutrition as well, especially with, obviously Arthur has PSSM2. It's very important to try and get his diet right. There's so many things, everything's all interconnected. But yeah. Okay, so before I show you the video of my training session with Arth the other day, I just wanted to show you the types of behaviour that I've kind of had to put up with Arthur during the 3 years that I've had him. Obviously everything hasn't been caught on camera. These are just a few that have. So this one was from when I viewed him actually. And this will be the first year of owning him. This is typical behaviour if I'm a bit unbalanced after a jump. And this one was 2017. I think I had him about a year. This was 2019, and I actually think it was to do with the half pad, because when I took it off, he was totally fine. And this one was 2020 when I broke my back. I do like to lunge Arthur before I ride. 2 reasons is to see where his brain is at, just to see if he's spooky or anything like that. And then to just try and get him to just lengthen himself and just to stretch himself. before I get on him. Every time he does start to stretch down, I just praise him a lot. I don't massively believe in psoas and things like that, just from what I've read. So my main aim is just to get him to just relax himself, just through my body language and me reassuring him, I guess. Could be right, could be wrong, but that's what I've chosen to do. So Arthur is starting to stretch a little bit. I just praise him a lot. He does have a tendency to want to slow down a little bit as well, which I guess it's just a stretching over his back kind of thing. He probably finds it a little bit difficult, so I just ask him gently to keep the forward momentum and just give him lots of praise. So I've just got on him here, and you can see that I'm giving him lots of strokes just to keep him calm, keep him relaxed. I'm very sorry for the video footage because it's very jumpy. I suppose it's just the way the camera records. I do lots of transitions, so I just ask him just very gently to trot and then walk and then trot, just to get him off my leg and just to get him a little bit more listening to me. Arthur can be a bit like a typical cob. But as you can see, I'm literally not doing anything with the reins at all. Because I'm so out of practice, just for me, I put my pinky fingers on his neck to keep my reins really still. And you can see he's just carrying himself. Like, I can't feel him at all on the reins. I'm literally not doing a thing. And then when he's done some nice work, I give him the reins and let him stretch down. I do this quite a lot because I think it's so important, and I think a lot of people probably forget about it. By the way, this was his really stiff side. And I'm just watching these videos and he is just bending around so nicely. It's just not something I'm used to. I let him stretch and trot as well, after we've done a little bit of work. He does find it more difficult on this side still, but I just give him some strokes, just tell him that it's okay to relax. As you can see, he is doing quite a nice stretch, which is really nice to see. I did build up his stretch work and things like that, but he did, the last few months before June, he did go quite stiff again. So it's nice that he's so willing. Here I do get a little bit bobbly with my reins, but I'm not perfect at all. I just try and correct myself. See, I do lots of stretch work. It's just so important. This is not a normal session for me and Arthur. Oh, I've struggled with dressage for so long, so it's just so nice to have such a and do I class it as easy? Just an easy ride with him. Struggled for so long. I'm not saying that the kiss and spines is the only issue that I'm dealing with, but it's certainly been a big issue. I'm very confident of that one. Again, just more transitions, not doing anything with the reins at all. I've got a feel on the reins, so they're not baggy. I do have a connection. I do get a little bit wobbly there. He did a little spook and I panicked. It's just one of those things. I did break my back in this arena, so I'm trying my best. I have noticed on this video that he is actually not swishing his tail that much either. He would always swish his tail. He still swishes it in canter, which you'll see. I'm not fully sure if this is a memory thing or not. Obviously, he's struggled for a long time. Bless him. Just let him have a stretch and trot. Such a good boy. And then I think this is where I ask him to canter, and it's such a shame that it's so jolty. But you can see that he just pops into canter. This is not normal for Arthur. And he's just so steady. It's just such a shame that the video is so jolty. I didn't have the reins at all. I just let him put himself where he felt like he needed to be, just for his own balance. I didn't want to put him in any frame or anything like that. Mind you, he just seems to put himself in a frame. And again, on the other side, exactly the same. I just sit quietly, ask with my seat, and he's away. Yeah, just so easy. It's crazy, really, considering I had 3 years of struggling with all of this. I do let him stretch down in the canter. And he does quite a nice one for a few seconds, which is great. I quite enjoyed doing that one. Hopefully I've helped people think a little bit more about their dressage. I just class this stuff that I've talked about as the quite basic knowledge, really. As I said, I don't claim to be a riding instructor or to be knowledgeable like one. Always work with a riding instructor to be able to give you the correct exercises and things like that, to help build up your horse's muscles. But yeah, I just wanted to, now that I'm sharing Arthur's journey, this is all just interconnected with where I am now. So yeah, I just wanted to share the knowledge that I've gained through all of this, in the hope that I can maybe help you guys out a little bit. Okay, till the next time. Bye.